Welcome back to the show. Well, I don't need to tell you how tough the past year has been with job losses and financial woes. They've caused problems for a lot of people.
But it hasn't all been doom and gloom, and now one community newspaper wants to turn those headlines around. So joining us now are two reporters, Julianne Marra and Isral Debuin with the Now papers. Welcome to the show, both of you.
Hi.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Yeah, so the Now newspapers, tell us a little bit about what this project is.
All right, well, the project, the idea, like you said, is that the news often focuses on the negative stuff, and this year it's been especially bad. There's economic doom and gloom, there's political stuff going on, just all that kind of stuff, job loss. And a lot of people have had a pretty bad year, and if you haven't personally, you probably know somebody that has. And so our idea is to kind of take that and with the end of the year, end on a more positive note and look for these great stories of people that have had some bright spots despite all the bad stuff. And so we're asking those people to submit their stories so that we can take a look at them, and we're going to share them on December 31st, which is our final issue of the year. The project's called Resolve, and the idea is that to succeed in 2009, you'll have had to have shown a lot of resolve. And then on December 31st, which is of course New Year's Eve, that's when we all make resolutions. And so it's kind of ending the previous year and starting the new year with
inspiration.
Yeah, with that resolve.
A fresh start.
Yeah.
I like that. What types, are there certain types of story in particular that you're looking for?
Well, there are so many stories out there that can be considered uplifting, and it could be that you lost your job, and in doing that you were able to discover, fulfilling volunteer work, maybe at a hospital or the Hunger Task Force, maybe.
Right.
Or maybe it could be that, you had to go through major surgery and you survived and it was a miracle. Or maybe you had a new child enter your life, a grandchild or whatever. It's just whatever could be uplifting. And there are so many stories out there that could fulfill that really no story is too small or insignificant. And really your story could be bigger than you really think it is.
Well, and I like that you're going to do some bigger features on some stories with, you said, pictures and things like that, and then also smaller. So if people want to get their stories to you, about how many are you going to be featuring, do you think?
We're going to try and get as many in that we can because, the news is so full of negative that we really want to focus on the positive because there is positive news out there. And that's what we're going to try and do. So we encourage everyone to send in their stories. We have many ways for you to do that, and just get in touch with us and tell us what's going on in your life.
And are people telling their own stories, or will they kind of recap their story and then you write it as reporters?
Well, it kind of depends how they choose to submit it. We have a voicemail line set up where they can call and leave us a message.
Okay.
We have an email set up specifically for the project. You can also submit through our websites. And the idea is that for the bigger stories that we're going to take a closer look on, our reporters are actually going to go out and write a front page cover story for each community. Those are going to be the stories that get a little more attention. We might do some video work for our website. We're going to do some photo galleries, that kind of stuff. And then the stories that are a little simpler but still great, we might let the readers tell in their own words. And so we might take some of those voicemails that people leave and put the audio right up online, or we might transcribe those voicemails and put in those readers' words in the paper in small vignettes and have kind of some of those smaller stories arranged on an inside page, just to get as much of this good news out there as possible.
So people can leave you their story on a voicemail.
Right.
How else can they give you their story?
We do have our Resolve hotline set up. The number is 262-446-6676. They can also email us at resolve@cninow.com. They can mail it to us at our mailing address, as well as visit us online at mycommunitynow.com/resolve.
You're right. There are a lot of ways to submit
that's
it.
good.
I think that's great.
We try to accommodate to everyone because, not all of our readers are web savvy. Not all of them are comfortable on the phone. And, a lot of people still prefer to write that handwritten letter.
Right.
I think that's neat. And so that we can break it down for people and they know how much time they have. First, what is the deadline to submit your story, whether it's by voicemail or email or by mail?
Yeah, the deadline is December 11th,
which
will give our reporters enough time to seek out those bigger stories and give them the time they deserve.
And then they'll be published when?
Well, we're going to publish one or two each week as kind of an explanation of what the project's going to look like.
Okay.
And to encourage more readers to submit their stories. And then the big day is December 31st, which is our final issue of the year. And that's going to be the day where all of the rest get put in the paper.
Good, so they can keep up to date with some of them that are already sent in. Well, just as Julianne mentioned, you can go to My Community Now and share your stories of resolve. They're looking for all of them, and it's www.mycommunitynow.com/resolve. Or call them, like she mentioned, at 262-446-6676 to send in your story of inspiration and resolve for the end of the year.
Yeah, there's a lot of positive news out there, and we're just looking to share some of it.
I think
Thank you
that's
both.
great. Thanks, both of you.
Thank you for having us.
Very much for your time.
Yeah.